So a couple of weeks ago, I decided to buy myself a glorious Model O from Micro Center. This was due to the factor that I wanted a new mouse for Christmas, and glorious Model O, it would be the best mouse. So at the same time, I also wanted to make a review about this mouse because basically everyone was making a review of it. So today, after 3 weeks of switching my personalities about this mouse, switching my opinions about the mouse, I finally had a final statement. And today is going to be a video of the review. This is going to be the review of the glorious Model O. Now, before we keep on going, I would just like to say, if we could hit 150 subs by the end of this week, that would make my day, to be honest. It took a little while to edit this video, and it's taking a while to edit other videos just like these, or different ones. So if you subscribe, then it's just gonna be a lot. Anyways, let's get right into it. Okay, so let's talk about the overview for this mouse. So the Model O comes at a price of $50. If you see the Model O being sold for more than $50, I wouldn't recommend getting it from that website, but instead the official website / a trusted company that you can trust, or the official website. And the official website is PC Gaming Race, by the way, so yeah, it's not Model O or whatever. Anyways, this weight of the mouse comes at 67 grams when at the matte edition, but if you're getting the glossy edition, you're gonna have one more extra gram, which causes it to be 68 grams. The length of the mouse is 128 millimeters long for its length, and then for its width, it's gonna be 66 millimeters wide from the back. The mouse has a very light, long cable, causing it to be really easy to move without the wire getting in the way when moving your mouse. Now, the mouse only comes with the mouse and a sticker, so if you were wanting something with the mouse, sadly there's not going to be anything with the mouse besides a sticker. Also, by the way, there is going to be blue tape on the bottom of the mouse for the glides. This is to protect the glides, so during shipment it doesn't hurt the glides or anything like that. The build quality of Model O is actually pretty solid. When gripping the mouse, it doesn't feel like it's wobbling or it's not tightened. Now, if you do put pressure on the honeycomb design areas, that area might wiggle a bit, but not to the point that it'll break. Now, I've heard rumors in the past where the Model O has broken within 8 months because of the buttons or something like that. I'm pretty sure the buttons are pretty stable and they're not going to break within the 8 months of use. If they do, you can actually contact Glorious about the situation. I'm not sure how long the warranty is, but I believe it's 1 year, so they will replace some things for you. But overall, I don't think your mouse is going to break within the 8 months. The chances of that even happening are very unlikely, so your mouse will I literally guarantee you this mouse will at least last you 5 months of use. Now, of course, if you put water on it, it's a different situation. For the clicks and switches for this mouse, the Model O is using on-ramp switches, which are pretty light and bouncy switches. Now, honestly, I think the clicks on this mouse feel pretty good, and I feel like every click that I'm actually inputting is actually outputting. So that's really good because, you want all the clicks that you are clicking to register in Minecraft. Now, one thing I will say is that the light and bouncy switches are not as good as the Logitech G Pro Superlight. Now, obviously, the Superlight is, way better in its own way. It's way more light and bouncy, but, still, the glorious Model O is still pretty good for its price when it comes to clicking. I never had any issues with the clicking not inputting any of my clicks, so I think the Model O is actually really nice. In order to double click on your Model O, you're first going to have to download the Model O software. After doing this, you're going to have to go to the debounce timing and change it all the way to the lowest setting, which is 4 ms. After doing this, you'll be easily able to butterfly click and drag click. Now, for drag clicking, my peak was 25 CPS, while my average was 25 CPS. For butterfly clicking, I was easily able to get a 17 CPS average, while my highest was 20 CPS. And for jitter clicking, I got an average of 14 CPS, while my highest was 15 CPS. And if you're better than me in all of these clicking methods, you can possibly get even more CPS than this. Now, I'm not the best butterfly clicker either, so I'd imagine someone who's better than butterfly clicking at me and has more experience would easily able to get a 20 CPS to 22 CPS average. And for, well, right click, you could easily probably also get the same amount. So if you're good in most of these clicking methods that I've mentioned, then I think this mouse is really good and it will benefit you from the mouse that you're probably using right now. For the physical characteristics of this mouse, one thing I really do like is for the side buttons and the DPI button. So for the side buttons, you actually have to put like some pressure into this area, which is something I really like because it's very weird for other mice, like where you have to put pressure down instead of putting pressure onto the side. So this easily makes your thumb just feel really nice on the mouse and doesn't really give you any issues with it. For the DPI button, it's really easy to get to it. You can use your pointer finger, or actually any finger besides the thumb and the pinky. They're easily able to get to the DPI button. So if you're maybe playing mid-fight and you realize that your DPI button is changed, you can easily change it in time. One thing I will say about the DPI button is it's really easy to change and you don't actually have to put that much pressure in it, which I feel like is something that they should at least have fixed in the second model, which is, by the way, there's two models for the Model O, and this is the second model, and everyone else is going to get the second model if you're buying a new one, so yeah. But I feel like they should have made you put more pressure in that area for the second model, so yeah. But overall, I feel like the characteristics of this mouse is actually pretty good, and I don't really have any issues with it. So let's talk about the shape for the Model O. I just want to say and make this clear, I don't like the shape of the Model O. If you're going from a bigger mouse to a Model O, like obviously it's going to be an easy change, but one issue I do have is the Model O being too flat. Due to this mouse being really just meant for medium size to large size hands, the Model O is just really flat, and I don't like that. What this causes is a bit of pain between your middle finger and your ring finger in the palm. I'll have it shown up on screen, but it does feel like you feel some pain there. It's not like the pain to the point like someone stabbed you with a needle, like not that type of pain, but more like just annoying pain. But overall, I feel like besides that, the mouse is really nice. Like your thumb is easily able to get to the buttons, well, the side buttons, and your pointer finger is easily able to get to the DPI buttons and also the scroll wheel, so it doesn't feel weird when scrolling or changing your DPI. But for the shape, I do feel like it's something I really just don't like. Okay, so do I think this mouse is worth it? And to that I say yes and no. So the reason why I say yes and no is due to the factor, one of the biggest reasons, will this fit your hand? Yeah. So there's two versions of the Model O, the normal Model O and the Model O minus. Now, if you have small hands that are not going to grow anymore, I would recommend getting the Model O minus, because everything I've said about the Model O goes to the minus as well, including the shape. But yeah, everything that goes from like the Model O goes to the minus. That's basically how it works. Now, if you don't have hands that are stopped growing, like if your hands are still growing and they're small, I would recommend just getting the Model O. I mean, the Model O still has, like, it's still, you can still use the Model O if you have small hands, but it's just better to get a Model O minus. So yeah, if you have hands that are growing, get the Model O. Now, the other reason why I say no is because of, well, if you're drag clicking. This mouse is only decent at drag clicking, and it's not like any Rocat Kane 100 mouse that you can find out there. No, it's not as good as a Rocat. But I will say, it's pretty good at drag clicking. It's just decent. For the factor, I mean, you also have to take in, it's not really marketed for drag clicking. It's really just recommended for butterfly clicking. So, yeah, if you don't have any of those two issues, then go ahead and get this mouse. Because I really would recommend this mouse. This is a really good mouse at the end of the day. If you're, as long as like you're not drag clicking and have smaller hands, this mouse is probably perfect for you. Anyways, that's all. and I hope you have a good day.